What are your thoughts?
Well, Skip, I mean, and we talked about this, Skip. He checked into a facility last week, and he's out by Tuesday. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything like that. But that seemed a short period of time.
It did.
Given the
Agreed.
behavior that Ja displayed over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Agreed.
And some of the incidents have transpired this past summer. And so going back, there's a period of time, and that seems like an awful short stint. But if he's better, I'm all for that. The NBA said they couldn't conclude that the gun actually belonged to Ja, or that he brought it into the club, or that the gun that he displayed for a brief period of time that was actually his. So Ja Morant was willing to throw it all away for someone else. And what he said, he told Jalen Rose in the interview, he said, I was pretending to be something that I'm not. I know a guy that's been sitting up here for the last 2-3 months that said, what, Skip? He's pretending to be something that he's not. He wanted to portray that he was hood, that he was a thug.
Yep.
Bro, you worth $250 million. Man, ain't nobody worth no $250 million on shooter. That ain't you. And everything that he does, Skip, somebody makes a play, tap, 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 tap. He got the tequila bottle on the plane, and he's spraying everybody. Come, bro, really? The real people that do that for real, you never know they about that life. And they guarantee you they ain't worth no $250 million. I just didn't get why he was trying to impress somebody. Yo, Ja. That's him, Skip. Does he realize that being Ja Morant is impressive enough? You walk into any room, man, not Ja Morant. He in the NBA.
True.
You don't need to do it.
Yep.
Skip, he don't need to say anything else. He don't need to do anything else. Ja Morant, in and of itself, is impressive enough in any room, in any arena, in any genre. But yet, nah, that ain't enough, Skip. I want to show I'm like that. I'm about that. I'm glad, and I felt to Skip, the NBA, the Grizzlies did a very wise thing, suspending him. Therefore, the NBA says, you know what, we don't want to compound an issue. He's taken enough. He's been away for 6 games. We're going to add 2 more to it. He'll be able to come back, if I'm not mistaken, Monday. Work his way back. I don't know if he comes back immediately or a game or 2.
They said now it's just about his shape.
Right, getting in shape and come back on the court. Skip, I'm glad this is behind him. I'm a firm believer, Skip, the best apology is change behavior.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see moving forward if Ja has learned his lesson, which I hope he has, and the change behavior in which he exhibits lets everybody know. Because I see better than I hear. Now, I heard with the interview, I heard what he said.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be watching to see what you do.
Yeah.
And if his actions match his words, lesson learned.
I like everything you just said. I appreciate every word you just uttered. I'm still going to root for this still very young man at 23.
Yeah.
I'm going to cling to the notion that I keep stressing on the show, that he went from being Rookie of the Year to, in this 3rd year, Most Improved Player. That means he had to go look in the mirror and say, I'm deficient in that area and that one and maybe even in that one.
That is correct.
And I got to get to work in the offseason. I got to, as you say, get in the lab.
Right.
I got to do the work required to get better. And he got better in every statistical category to the point that the media said, you deserve Most Improved.
Right.
Okay? Now, off the court, can you match that?
Yes. Can you become
most improved off the court? Well, he showed you he could do it on, so I'm going to give him the benefit of this doubt and say, yep, you got the potential within you. Now, as for what just transpired yesterday, I'll be honest. I'm a little disturbed, and I'm a lot disappointed, and I feel a little misled by everything that just transpired, to all of your points. Because, wait a second. Even Nike hung in with him the other day and issued a statement saying, we appreciate Ja's accountability and that he's taking the time to get the help he needs.
Right.
The time. Listen, I went through it with my dad 3 different times in rehab stints, and I kept telling you, I don't know what's going on with Ja because they're not specific about why did he check into a facility in Florida, a counseling facility. Does he have an addiction problem? Is there an alcohol problem? Then it's now being widely reported that he was intoxicated the night in question.
That's what the NBA concluded.
That's what they concluded, okay? We had people inside at Shotgun Willie say he wasn't drinking. Well, now the NBA is saying he's intoxicated.
Right.
Okay. Do you have a drinking problem? Do you have a drug problem? Do you have whatever kind of problem? But to your point, I don't know what it was. I assume he did check in because they said he did. I'm going to have to take their word for it. and he lasted a few days?
Right.
I don't know.
I think he has an attention problem.
Okay? It doesn't work that way. And again, I'm happy he went and got the psychiatric help he needed, and he said, I've been talking to therapists, and I hope ongoing he continues.
Right.
But that doesn't do it. And
weak.
The Grizzlies, by immediately suspending for a little bit and then a little bit more, 2 games and then 4 games, took the NBA completely off the hook.
They did.
And once Ja went to counseling, then the world sits back and says, way to go, kid.
Yeah, you can't suspend it. He's trying to get...
Now you can't pile on to that, right? So they played this beautifully.
Yes.
Now he's only suspended for a grand total of 8 games, but it's just a couple of more games. Wait a second. I woke up yesterday afternoon and said, wait, he can play this coming Monday? Yes, he can play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's if he's in shape, not if he's better psychologically. No, if he's in game shape. He can play on Monday. Is he going to play? Well, they think not, but he's...
Who knows?
He's eligible by Monday.
Right.
What? Okay, now back to one of his quotes that really got me. I got to read a little bit of this. Josh says, this is to Jalen Rose, honestly, I feel like we put ourselves in that situation with our past mistakes, and now it's only right that we focus in and lock in on being smarter and more responsible, including holding each other accountable for everything. He's talking about his inner circle, and I'm saying, no, it's you have to make the choices, not them. And the whole problem, in your point of view, was the people he was associating with, and he did not address that at all.
Exactly.
He did not tell Jalen Rose, I've cleaned up my inner circle. I'm not going to hang with those guys anymore because they were a bad influence.
Skip, let me ask you a question. Do you know in one person name in that inner circle? Let's just say there are 6 guys in the inner circle. Name one of them.
Okay, one guy got ejected and I think banned from the arena, and I read his name, but it doesn't stick in my head.
The only person that got to make better decisions is Ja Morant.
That guy.
Ain't no we, it's an I, it's a me.
I. Yeah. Okay. So I appreciate the sentiment, but not the we part of it. And then in some of the other quotes, he referred to himself as Ja, as in it's like third-person reference where Ja's like this character over there, right? Like Ja did this.
Yeah.
It's like this creation of this guy. Right? I don't know. That's a little scary to me. And then finally, are you really right now? Are you really ready to get right back into the flow? And it wasn't just that night at Shotgun Willie's. As you remember, Shannon, there were 4 other pretty major incidents, and he was very vague in all of his references to those 4 incidents. And
some of them are sealed and probably ongoing investigation.
Well, he said that they're sealed, but there was the fight with this is all allegations, but the fight with the 17-year-old during the pickup game in his house. And then the incident at the mall, he said his mother called him, and then he went and got into it with the director of, at the mall.
Right.
To the point that that chief of security called the police and filed a police report against Ja.
Right.
And then there was another incident, which I was not even aware of until I read this yesterday, that he went to a volleyball game in which his little sister was playing, and he got into it with somebody, and there was some big incident, right? And then there was the alleged laser point incident with the red dots on the Minnesota, it was Indiana Pacers out on the loading dock as they were getting into their bus.
Right.
And Ja was allegedly in the car from which the red dot came from, and the head of security for the Pacers said, I believe the dots were coming from guns.
Right.
Okay? So there are 4 things that happened fairly recently.
Right.
And it's like they came and they went. And I thought the totality of them, in the very beginning, when he went IG Live, dangling the gun, that next morning when I saw this, I thought, boy, the NBA is going to come down hard on him for this. And Commissioner Silver was very hard on him in the statement that he made. Reckless behavior, unacceptable, irresponsible. Okay, but again, we're talking about 8 games. off all these incidents, and you remember the malice at the palace,
right.
Our friend at that point, Ron Artest and Steven Jackson. I mean, the suspensions were just, you're done, man, for the rest of the year.
The rest of the year, I think he had like 50-something games.
Okay, so it now 8 games and all is well. Right. Everything's really all is well. I hope so.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. I don't know. We don't really know, Skip. Only time will tell. But I just think 1 week is an awful short amount of time, given, as you mentioned, the totality of the incidents and what he was allegedly dealing with. 1 week is not a lot of time. But maybe he got some intense therapy.
I hope so.
And they cleared him, and he's good to go. At least that's what I hope. I hope he's good to go. And now we'll have no further incidents with Ja Morant involving guns or anything like that. But Ja, it's you. Ain't no we, it's you.
We.
You, because the thing is, Skip, they could all bring it down, but it's you. It's not like they're not getting in the clubs. They're not flying private. They're not popping bottles without you. And so likelihood of them telling you to stop and then have all of that stop is not very good.
It's not very good.
And then when you're the parent, now all of a sudden, Skip, the roles have reversed. He's now in a parent situation because he's providing.
Yep.
Where normally the parents provide and they say, no, you're not going out. No, you're not doing this. You're not getting that. The roles have flipped now. Mm-hmm. But it takes I would never give up that control. Mm-hmm. I've always told my kids, our relationship won't ever change. The dynamic won't ever change. No matter how we feel about each other. I'm always going to be dad. Mm-hmm. You're always going to be child.
Okay. But the roles didn't reverse or flip.
No, but here's the thing, what happened. Now Ja got them on the golf course. Now Ja got them in the Rolls Royce and the Mercedes.
Well, as you know, his father pretty much travels with him.
Yes. And look, and I just think the thing is sometimes we just have to sit down. We can be proud of our kids. We can applaud them, but never give up fatherhood for fandom or friendship.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's what's happened a lot now in this generation, Skip. That's my best friend. My dad's my best friend. Ooh, we get along, so we more like brother. No. That's what you go to school for, to meet friends, get in the sandbox and play. Down the street is your friend.
Yeah.
I'm the father.
Okay, so biggest picture going forward back in the basketball context, as you well know, Memphis has carried itself like the new young villains of the NBA, right?
Now they got Desmond Bain out there acting up.
All right, they do.
You see him sharing love last night?
And he was gone, okay? But they love that. Dylan Brooks loves that. He's playing into the villain role on a nightly basis. His quotes are villainous quotes.
Right.
And he's egging it on and starting this with Draymond and that and trying to finish this. Okay. Now, Ja, as he goes back into the mix, and he was acting that part too.
Right.
He was becoming a big trash talker.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be the same? Are they going to be the same with him as the even more of a focal point now with a very bright spotlight on his behavior going forward? Will it impact their team culture? Will it be a plus or a minus? Will it change their body language on the court? I am fascinated by that because it has potential because the media attention now on Ja, especially going forward, is going to be intense.
Yeah, but Skip, I think in today's game, it's kind of hard to be like what the Knicks were or what the Heat were.
Yeah.
You know, or what the Pistons were, Skip, where they really, truly had enforcers. Yeah. And they were doing the things on the court to let you know, not tonight. No layups tonight. No coming in the lane tonight. Shoot all you want to outside, but if you come in here, you're going to pay a penalty. The NBA won't allow you to play that brand of basketball anymore. So what the Grizzlies are trying to become, the NBA won't allow it.
Well, you can try. You can.
You gonna get suspended though.
Okay. Fascinating.
Gentlemen, Ja also forfeited almost $670,000 worth of salary. Possibly not a huge deal to him. Probably not as big as that Powerade contract he lost as a spokesperson. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.